Yeah, what's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you, and I hope you're staying safe. Everybody down there who's in the path of the hurricane, batten down the hatches, find some high ground, do something, but keep yourselves safe. I'm begging you, I'm imploring you. Who knows what's going on these days up there in the atmosphere? It's something weird, I'm telling ya. But anyway, that's not what I'm here for. I am here to discuss the utter failure of the movie Joker 2 Folie à Deux or something like that. But anyway, the cry out in Hollywood is, what happened? What went wrong? Why has this thing just flatlined? Why is it dead on arrival? Well, I have some ideas about that. I have some thoughts. And it's true, this thing had a bloated budget. It was well up in the hundreds of millions of dollars, and it came back like terribly, embarrassingly short, right? So it crashed and burned, and everybody wants to know, like, what happened? Well, let me tell you, youngster, let's take it way back, because I got some ideas about this, guys. Now, you might remember, like, way back in the infant days of Hollywood, the white male image was by far the most dominant image. The white male at all costs had to be a positive, strong, alpha image, right? That's the way it was. I mean, obviously, those were the people that were making the movies, right? So they were in control of that image. That's what they wanted. We were under the leadership of white presidents and all of this stuff. This was the direction of America's greatest generation, right? So that's what it had to be. So they protected that at the expense and at the cost of everybody else. Women were, for the most part, not allowed to be much more than damsels in distress. And of course, everybody else. I mean, don't even get me started. Like Latinos, they were just made to be some la cucaracha. And Indians were, well, don't get it started on cowboys and Indians, and not to mention black people. Guys, I direct your attention to The Birth of a Nation. What was that movie back in the 30s, the 20s or something like that? Well over 100 years ago. Now, guys, right, my white brothers, picture a movie made by black people where they all dressed in whiteface and they portrayed white people as murderers and rapists and illiterate and stupid and savages and criminals and all of that stuff. That was Birth of a Nation, okay? So don't feel too bad, because black people, especially black men, we got our image fucked up a long time ago, right? But the only problem is that was a long time ago. We've come a long way since then. All we want these days is to enjoy a good movie. All of us, all of the races. And we've had that for a while. But for some reason, most recently, Hollywood has decided they want to attack that outdated alpha white male image, even though all of us, we had nothing to do with that, who are alive today. As I said, all we want is a good image, right? So, how do I tie this into Joker? Well, you guys might remember when the first Joker movie was announced, there was a lot that was made about, well, this is sending the wrong image to white males out there, angry white males. It's enabling and it's emboldening angry white males, MAGA, alt-right, all of that stuff. So they were so afraid of what the Joker would mean to angry white men, right? To white men. And they had to deconstruct this. They were so afraid of what was going to happen, right? And unfortunately, Batman is a property that we've all enjoyed. White, black, male, female, Indian, Latino, Asian, everybody, right? But they decided they were going to hijack this. So they were going to do this to the Joker character. They were afraid. And I'm going to get into the reasons why they shouldn't have been afraid, but they were, right? So the Joker, the first one, went over very well, okay? Even though those of us who know cinema, who know movies, know that the first Joker was nothing more than a reworking of Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy, I believe it was, they were great stories. And The Joker was a great story. It's just that it had a lot of similarities to those previous movies. It was very well acted, Joaquin Phoenix, it was very well written. It was what it was. Well, they decided they were going to come back and they were going to tinker with it and do something completely different, and they made it their business to make sure that you got the message that you were not to emulate or even relate to or like this character, right? So they did everything in their power, from what I can tell, because I didn't see this movie, because from the trailers I could tell the hot dog shit that it was going to be. But like I said, there are those of us who see the shit and say I'm going to step around it, and there are those who say I don't know if that's shit or not. I'll know when I step in it and I smell it. And I track it through the house. So that's what ended up happening, right? So the Joker is what it is. From what I hear, the ending is totally fucked up. But see, this is the pet peeve that I've been having with a lot of these reimaginings and reworkings of these classic characters that have been, especially comic book movie characters. You got to remember, there is a certain risk, if you ask me, to taking an antagonist and making it the protagonist. Of course, you wouldn't have to worry that people were relating to this classic antagonistic character if you didn't turn around and make it a protagonist. That's kind of the point. When you put this person first in center, then people, of course, are going to look at it and they're going to find something to relate to about it. The Joker needs a Batman. One of the things that I think DC Comics did so well, right, or Batman especially, one of the most fascinating things or story beats that they had was questioning whether or not supervillains would exist if it weren't for superheroes, right? I think Alfred said that to Batman. If you go out there dressed like a bat and you're all over the top, you're going to possibly run the risk of inspiring bad actors to do the same thing. So the question is, if there weren't superheroes, would there be supervillains? Now, the movies decided they were going to go around that and they were going to make the supervillains without the superheroes and then wonder why it's less filling. You know, and I have this idea and opinion about everything. I don't believe that Kraven the Hunter or Venom should exist without Spider-Man. It's throwing off the balance. You know what I mean? We all love the Penguin, everyone who's been watching the Penguin, but I still have the same criticisms of that because the Penguin isn't really a Batman show. It's not really a Penguin show. It's a mob show. It's very well written. It's very well acted. I am enjoying it, but let's face it, the Penguin without the Batman is not the Penguin. It's not that story. You know what I mean? But this is what you have Hollywood doing in the same way as Star Wars. They want the title. They want the name recognition, but they don't have the commitment to actually doing the story. So what you had with the Joker Part 2 is you had, first and foremost, the commitment to deconstructing the white male image. And that's what they did. That's the reason why you got what you got in the final scene. And you can say that it was gutsy. You can say that you like what they did and, you know, it was visionary and all of that stuff. But does it serve the source material, guys? There is something to be said for serving the source material. So this is a quick one. I just wanted to ask you guys that question. When it comes to the Joker, why do you think it failed? Did you go to see it? What did you think about it? The flopping of the Joker. Do you have any ideas about why that would have been? You heard mine. Now you can get in the comment section and let me know. As always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. If you want to contribute to the channel, of course you can with the super thanks feature below, because you guys know that YouTube does not push my channel at all. So I do depend on you guys to keep the lights on and keep things going around here. And I do appreciate it. All right, guys, I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on. Time to get to work.